Did you know that Japan just experienced a powerful 7.2 magnitude earthquake? Quite the jolt, right? But what exactly is an earthquake? Well, in the simplest terms, an earthquake is the shaking of the Earth's surface caused by a sudden release of energy in its crust. It's like the Earth suddenly decides to do a bit of a shimmy. Now, this energy release isn't a random event. It's usually due to the movement of massive sections of the Earth's surface known as tectonic plates. Imagine these as giant puzzle pieces that make up the Earth's crust. This crust isn't a stable solid sheet but rather a collection of these moving puzzle pieces. Occasionally these pieces collide or slide past each other, and when that happens, we get an earthquake. So, how do we measure the strength of an earthquake? Enter the Richter scale. Developed in the early 20th century by Charles F. Richter, this scale assigns a single number to quantify the amount of seismic energy released by an earthquake. It's logarithmic, which means each whole number increase on the scale represents a 10-fold increase in measured amplitude and roughly 31.6 times more energy release. Now let's put things into perspective. A 7.2 magnitude earthquake, like the one recently experienced in Japan, is considered major on the Richter scale. It's capable of causing severe damage to buildings and other structures, and can be felt up to hundreds of miles from the epicenter. The kind of quake that makes you sit up and take notice. But what's fascinating is how often Japan experiences these seismic events. You see, Japan sits along the Ring of Fire, a major area in the basin of the Pacific Ocean where a large number of earthquakes and volcanic eruptions occur. In fact, Japan is one of the most earthquake-prone countries in the world. So, what caused this powerful earthquake in Japan? It's all about the movement of the Earth's crust. And as we'll see in our next scene, when these tectonic plates decide to throw a dance party, the Earth really knows how to shake things up. The Earth's crust is not one solid piece but rather made up of multiple large pieces called tectonic plates. These plates, think of them as giant puzzle pieces that make up the surface of the Earth, are always on the move. They slide past one another, collide head-on or pull apart, albeit at a pace slower than a snail's race. But it's this movement, this constant jostling for space that brings about seismic events like earthquakes. Now let's take a leap across the globe to Japan. The country sits on the Pacific Ring of Fire, a horseshoe-shaped belt known for its frequent earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. This is because it's a hotbed of tectonic activity, where several major plates, including the Pacific and Philippine sea plates, are in constant motion. The recent earthquake in Japan was a result of a specific type of plate movement known as thrust faulting. Imagine two of these plates converging, with one being forced under the other in a process called subduction. The subducting plate gets squeezed, the stress builds up until finally, it releases, causing the ground to shake. An earthquake. But there's another player in this geological drama: the ocean. When an undersea earthquake occurs, the seafloor lifts or drops abruptly, displacing a colossal amount of water. This displacement triggers waves that travel across the ocean, building up speed and size as they approach shallow water, eventually crashing onto the shore as a tsunami. It's this chain of events that led to the tsunami warning following the earthquake. So when we talk about an earthquake, we're not just talking about the shaking ground beneath our feet. We're talking about a complex interplay of tectonic forces, a reflection of the immense energy bound within the Earth's crust. This energy, while often destructive, is also a testament to the dynamic and ever-changing nature of our planet. It's a reminder that we live on a living, breathing world that's constantly reshaping itself. So, the movement of these tectonic plates is what caused the recent earthquake in Japan. The earthquake's effects don't end with the shaking. In fact, Japan is now on tsunami warning. This looming threat reminds us of the devastating potential of the sea, particularly for coastal areas. It's a stark reality for the people living along the vulnerable coastline of Japan, where the ocean's power can be both awe-inspiring and terrifying. Authorities are taking no chances. They've issued evacuation orders in the most at-risk areas. Emergency services are working tirelessly, ensuring residents are safe and secure. Warnings are being broadcasted, urging people to move to higher ground. In this dance with nature, it's not just about understanding the science behind these seismic events. It's about harnessing that knowledge to protect lives. From predicting potential earthquakes to issuing timely tsunami warnings, the focus is on preparedness and response. As we can see, understanding the science behind these seismic events is crucial in helping us prepare for and respond to them.